Hey guys, we just completed our first night of sleep training. Woo! And it was a success because my son is sleeping in the crib, and I put him in the crib before he was asleep, and he did not get out of the crib until he was asleep. So we did it. Yay. I'm very proud of myself for not caving, and I'm proud of my little man in there for making it through it and going to sleep. So let me tell you how it went down. We took a bath per usual. We went to bed an hour early tonight because of a missed nap this afternoon. So it took 45 minutes, all in all, from the time I put him in the crib to the time he went to sleep. We nursed on the couch, and I did not rock him to sleep, but we did not read a story like I had mentioned we were going to do in the first video. But it's okay. It's fine. So I nursed him. He was pretty sleepy. I put him in the crib. He was wide awake because he was not ready to be in the crib yet. So what I did was let him cry for 5 minutes. I went to the furthest room away and kind of blocked out everything and just watched the clock. So after 5 minutes of crying, I went back in and I comforted him. I gave him some water. I sang to him and rubbed him and told him everything was okay and all of that, stuff that you do to comfort your baby. And then I left, and then I think 6 minutes went by, and I went in there again and comforted him again. And then I left and came back for the third time. But this time I stayed in there with him. And in hindsight, I wish I would have done it this way from the very beginning instead of letting him cry those first 5 minutes, those few times. I wish I would have stayed in there with him as the first part of the transition, because that's what ultimately, calmed him down enough to where he could fall asleep. And I feel like he got a little too worked up for my comfort. He was doing the whole thing where you can't breathe because you've been crying so much. I hate that. Oh my gosh, that's the worst. I hate that so much. But he calmed down. But I feel, like I said, anyways, I wish I would have done that from the very beginning, just stayed in there with him. I had my hand through the crib so he could feel me and all of that goodness. So he finally calmed down, relaxed enough to where he could fall asleep, and I skedaddled out of there. So, yeah, it took 45 minutes, but it didn't feel like it took that long at all. Like I said, the 5 minute interval. So I guess I was in there for like 25 minutes or whatever, just laying in there with him. But time flies when you're having fun. And not really, but yeah, so we did it. Later to come is night weaning, where I tried to cut one of his night feedings short. I also think that I will give him a bottle of formula tonight when he wakes up for feeding, to keep him in his crib. I may just actually do that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how often he wakes up, but I want to see what it's like to just keep him in his crib with a bottle, period. I don't know. We'll see. That's how it goes, though. You make a plan. It doesn't quite go as you plan. But that's what's great about life. You can tweak things and kind of, change things around so they work for you. And everything works differently for everybody, so you just got to figure out what works best for you and kind of go with the flow. But yeah, like I said, the biggest thing I took away from tonight was just to stay in there with him to begin with, instead of doing the let him cry, the cried out thing, and all of that. So anyways, tomorrow's a new day, and tomorrow's a new night as well. So we'll give it a shot tomorrow, and we'll see how this thing works out for us. All right, have a great night. Bye.